You ready if you're reading this at 3 a.m.? If you're reading this at 3 a.m. because you can't turn your brain off, I see you. I see you lying there in the dark, eyes wide open, replaying that conversation from 3 days ago for the 100th time. I see you creating worst-case scenarios about things that haven't happened yet and probably never will. I see you stuck in that endless loop of thoughts that won't stop, won't slow down, won't give you peace. I see you exhausted but wired, tired but anxious, desperate for sleep but terrified of the thoughts that get louder when everything else gets quiet. As in, I need you to know something. You're not alone in this darkness. Right now, at this very moment, there are thousands of people awake just like you, staring at their ceilings, scrolling through their phones, trying to distract themselves from the thoughts that won't stop running. You're not the only one whose brain becomes a battlefield when the world goes quiet. You're not the only one who dreads the night because that's when the overthinking takes over. You're not the only one who's tired of being tired but can't seem to find rest. So, if you're here, if you're reading this, if you clicked on this video hoping for some relief from the noise in your head, stay with me. And if this is resonating with you already, go ahead and save this video. Bookmark it. Because I promise you, the next time you're lying awake at 3 a.m. spiraling, you're going to want to come back to this. You're going to need these reminders. So save it now while you're thinking about it. Because what I'm about to tell you might not make the thoughts stop, but it might help you understand them. It might help you navigate them. It might help you find some peace in the chaos. Why 3 a.m. hits different. There's something about the middle of the night that makes everything feel heavier, isn't there? The same thoughts that you can manage during the day become unbearable at 3 a.m. The same worries that seem reasonable in sunlight become catastrophic in darkness. The same problems that feel solvable with coffee in your hand feel impossible when you're alone in bed. Why does nighttime amplify everything? Because during the day you have distractions. You have work, people, noise, movement, tasks that keep your mind occupied. You have the armor of being fine that you wear so well. But at night, when everyone else is sleeping, when the world is quiet, when there's nothing left to distract you, that's when you're left alone with yourself. And that's when all the things you've been avoiding, ignoring, pushing down, running from, they all come rushing to the surface. The thoughts you've been outrunning all day finally catch up to you in the dark. That text you sent hours ago that hasn't been answered, that mistake you made at work, that thing you said that came out wrong, that conversation you need to have but keep avoiding, that decision you can't make, that future you can't predict, that past you can't change. All of it, all at once, playing on repeat in your mind like a broken record you can't turn off. Yes, what your brain is actually doing. Let me explain what's happening to you right now, because understanding it might help you stop fighting it. Your brain is designed to problem solve. It's designed to identify threats, plan for the future, protect you from danger. During the day, it has plenty to work on. But at night, when there are no immediate problems to solve, it starts manufacturing them. It takes the smallest worry and blows it up into a crisis. It takes a minor interaction and analyzes it from every possible angle. It takes an uncertain future and fills in all the blanks with worst-case scenarios. No, your brain isn't trying to torture you. It's trying to protect you. It thinks that by obsessing over every detail, by anticipating every possible outcome, by replaying every conversation, it's keeping you safe. It thinks that if it can just figure everything out, plan for everything, understand everything, then nothing bad can happen. But here's the problem. The more you try to control everything, the more anxious you become. The more you try to figure it all out, the more confused you get. The more you try to plan for every possibility, the more overwhelmed you feel. You can't think your way out of anxiety. You can only feel your way through it. The conversations you keep replaying. Let's talk about those conversations. The ones you keep going back to. The ones you're dissecting word by word, tone by tone, looking for hidden meanings that probably aren't even there. Why did they say it like that? What did they mean when they said that? Did I say something wrong? Are they mad at me? Should I have responded differently? You're not analyzing the conversation. You're torturing yourself with it. Because here's the truth. No matter how many times you replay it, you can't change what was said. No matter how much you analyze their tone, you can't read their mind. No matter how many different interpretations you come up with, You won't know what they actually meant unless you ask. And even if you did say something wrong, even if they are upset, even if you should have responded differently, replaying it at 3 a.m. isn't going to fix it. The only thing it's doing is stealing your peace and robbing you of rest. Most of the conversations you're overthinking weren't as bad as your anxiety is making them seem. That thing you said that you're convinced came out wrong, they probably didn't even notice. That awkward pause you're obsessing over, they've already forgotten about it. That response that took them 3 hours, they were probably just busy. Your anxiety is writing stories that aren't true. It's creating problems that don't exist. It's manufacturing conflict where there is none. The future you're catastrophizing. Now let's talk about tomorrow, next week, next month, next year. All the unknowns that your mind is trying desperately to control right now. What if I fail? What if it doesn't work out? What if I make the wrong choice? What if everything falls apart? What if I'm not enough? You're not planning for the future, you're catastrophizing about it. Your mind is taking every possibility and jumping straight to the worst-case scenario. It's not considering the million ways things could go right. It's only focused on the 1,000 ways things could go wrong. But here's what you need to understand. Worrying about the future doesn't prevent bad things from happening. It just prevents you from enjoying the present. All that mental energy you're spending on things that haven't happened yet, it's not preparing you. It's depleting you. The future you're afraid of exists only in your mind. Right now, in this actual moment, you're okay. You're breathing. You're here. Nothing catastrophic is happening. The worst-case scenarios your brain is creating haven't come true. They might never come true, but you're suffering as if they already have. You're living in a future of pain that doesn't exist while missing the present that does. The mistakes you can't forgive yourself for, and then there's the past. Oh, the past. The mistakes you made, the things you said, the opportunities you missed, the person you hurt, the decision you regret. You're not remembering the past. You're punishing yourself with it. Because your brain doesn't just replay the memory, it adds commentary, it adds judgment, it adds shame. How could I have been so stupid? Why did I do that? I should have known better. I ruined everything. I always mess things up. And every time you replay that memory, you're not processing it. You're re-traumatizing yourself with it. But here's what 3 a.m. won't tell you. Everyone has regrets. Everyone has said things they wish they could take back. Everyone has made decisions they would change if they could. Everyone has moments they're not proud of. The difference between someone who heals and someone who stays stuck is this. The person who heals acknowledges the mistake, learns from it, and chooses to move forward. The person who stays stuck replays it endlessly, punishes themselves repeatedly, and refuses to forgive themselves. You can't change what happened, but you can change what you do with what happened. You can keep letting it define you, or you can let it refine you. Bisishu, why you can't just stop thinking about it. I know you've tried to just stop thinking about it. I know you've told yourself to just relax and just sleep and just let it go. I know people have told you to stop worrying so much and don't think about it, and you're overthinking as if you don't already know that. As if you're choosing this, as if this is fun for you, as if you want your brain to be like this. But you can't just turn it off. That's not how anxiety works. That's not how overthinking works. That's not how a mind that's been conditioned to worry, analyze, and anticipate works. Telling yourself to stop thinking about it is like telling yourself to stop breathing. Your thoughts aren't voluntary. They're automatic. They're habitual. They're learned patterns that have been reinforced over and over again. And you didn't wake up one day and decide to become an overthinker. You became an overthinker because somewhere along the way, you learned that you had to be vigilant. You learned that you had to anticipate problems before they happened. You learned that you had to analyze everything to stay safe. Maybe it was a childhood where things were unpredictable. Maybe it was a relationship where you had to walk on eggshells. Maybe it was an experience that taught you that letting your guard down meant getting hurt. Whatever it was, your brain learned that overthinking equals safety, that anxiety equals preparedness, that worry equals protection. And now, even when you're safe, even when there's no real threat, your brain can't turn off the alarm system. The weight of being too much. Can we talk about something else that might be keeping you up? The feeling that you're too much, too sensitive, too emotional, too intense, too complicated, too difficult. You're not overthinking because you're broken. You're overthinking because you feel everything deeply. You care deeply, you love deeply, you think deeply, you feel deeply. And in a world that often values surface-level interactions and shallow connections, being deep feels like being wrong. People have probably told you, you're too sensitive, you think too much, you're being dramatic, you're making it a bigger deal than it is. Why can't you just relax? And every time someone says that, what you hear is, you're too much, you need to be less, you need to shrink yourself to make other people comfortable. But you're not too much, you're just surrounded by people who can't hold space for your depth. Your sensitivity isn't a flaw, your deep thinking isn't a problem, your intense emotions aren't wrong. They're part of what makes you you, they're part of your gift, they're part of your superpower. The world doesn't need more shallow people who don't feel anything. The world needs more people like you who feel everything, who care deeply, who think critically, who love intensely. Yes, it's harder to be you. Yes, it's more painful sometimes. Yes, you feel things other people don't feel. But that also means you experience beauty other people don't experience. You notice things other people don't notice. You connect with people in ways other people can't. You're not too much. You're just right. For the right people. For the right places. For the right purpose. And if you're nodding along to this, if these words are hitting home, I want you to do something for me. Share this. Send it to that friend who's always apologizing for being too sensitive. Share it with someone who needs to hear that they're not broken. Because there's someone in your life right now who needs these exact words, and you sharing this might be what helps them get through their next 3 a.m. spiral. What you're really afraid of. If we dig deeper, beneath all the overthinking, beneath all the anxiety, beneath all the spiraling thoughts, what are you really afraid of? Are you afraid of being rejected? Of being abandoned? Of being judged? Of being not enough? Of being too much? Of being alone? Of being seen? Of being invisible? Most of the time, the thing keeping you up at night isn't the surface worry. It's the deeper fear underneath it. You're not really worried about that text message. You're worried about what it means if they don't respond. You're worried that it confirms what you secretly fear, that you're not important, not valued, not enough. You're not really worried about that mistake at work. You're worried that it proves what you've always believed, that you're an imposter, that you don't belong, that eventually everyone will see that you're not as capable as they thought. You're not really worried about the future. You're worried that you won't be able to handle it, that you're not strong enough, smart enough, good enough to face whatever comes. The overthinking is just a symptom. The real issue is the core belief underneath it. And until you address that core belief, until you challenge that fundamental fear, the overthinking will keep coming back. Because you can manage the symptoms all you want, but if you don't address the root, it'll keep growing back. The stories you tell yourself. Right now, at 3 a.m., when your defenses are down and your anxiety is up, what stories are you telling yourself? I always mess things up. Nobody really likes me. I'm not good enough. Something bad is going to happen. I can't do this. Everyone else has it figured out except me. These stories aren't truth. They're trauma. They're the narratives you've internalized from past experiences, from things people said, from moments that hurt you, from times you felt small or scared or ashamed. And your brain has been playing these stories on repeat for so long that you've started to believe they're facts. But they're not facts. They're interpretations. They're perspectives. They're old programming. Just because you think it doesn't mean it's true. Just because your anxiety says it doesn't mean it's real. Just because it feels true in this moment doesn't mean it's actually true. Your thoughts are not reality. They're just thoughts. And thoughts can be questioned. They can be challenged. They can be changed. What your body is trying to tell you. While your mind is racing, your body is screaming. Your shoulders are tight. Your jaw is clenched. Your stomach is in knots. Your chest feels heavy. Your heart is racing. Your breath is shallow. Your body is carrying the weight of all these thoughts you're thinking. And it's exhausted. It's overwhelmed. It's in fight or flight mode even though there's no actual danger. Because your body can't tell the difference between a real threat and an imagined one. When you're lying in bed catastrophizing about the future, your body responds as if the catastrophe is happening right now. Your nervous system is firing. Your stress hormones are pumping. Your muscles are tensing. All because of thoughts that exist only in your mind. This is why you can't just calm down. Your body is in survival mode. And you can't think your way out of a physiological response. You can't logic yourself out of a nervous system that's been activated. You have to work with your body, not against it. You have to breathe, deeply, slowly, intentionally. You have to move, stretch, release the tension. You have to ground yourself, feel your feet on the floor, feel the sheets beneath you, feel the air on your skin. You have to bring yourself back to the present moment, back to your body, back to now. Because right now, in this actual moment, you are safe. Right now, nothing bad is happening. Right now, you're just a person lying in bed, having thoughts. And thoughts can't hurt you. They can only scare you if you let them. The permission. You need to give yourself. Here's what I need you to do right now. I need you to give yourself permission for something. Permission to not have it all figured out. Permission to be uncertain. Permission to not know what tomorrow will bring. Permission to make mistakes. Permission to be imperfect. Permission to be human. You don't have to have all the answers tonight. You don't have to solve every problem before sunrise. You don't have to figure out your entire future before you fall asleep. It's okay to not know. It's okay to be confused. It's okay to be scared. It's okay to be worried. You don't have to have it all together all the time. The pressure you're putting on yourself to figure everything out, to anticipate everything, to control everything, it's not helping you. It's hurting you. What if you gave yourself permission to just be, to just exist without having to analyze everything, to just feel without having to understand everything, to just rest without having to earn it? What 3 a.m. wants you to believe versus what's actually true. Let me tell you what 3 a.m. wants you to believe. That everyone is upset with you, that you've ruined everything, that the worst will happen, that you're not enough, that you'll never figure it out, that you're alone in this, that something is fundamentally wrong with you. But here's what's actually true. Most people aren't thinking about you nearly as much as you think they are. They're worried about their own lives. You haven't ruined everything. You're human, and humans make mistakes. The worst-case scenario is unlikely. Your anxiety is not a fortune teller. You are enough. Your worth isn't determined by your productivity or perfection. You will figure it out. Not all at once, but step by step. You're not alone. Millions of people are awake right now feeling the same way. Nothing is fundamentally wrong with you. You're just experiencing anxiety, and anxiety lies. 3 a.m. is not the time for big life decisions or harsh self-judgment. 3 a.m. is the time when everything feels more intense, more urgent, more catastrophic than it actually is. 3 a.m. is when your anxiety is loudest and your perspective is distorted. The thoughts you're having right now, they'll feel different in the morning. The problems that seem insurmountable right now, they'll feel more manageable in daylight. The worries that are consuming you right now, many of them won't matter at all tomorrow. The pattern that needs to break. Here's the cycle you're stuck in. You can't sleep, so you start thinking. The thinking leads to worrying. The worrying leads to more thinking. The more you think, the more anxious you become. The more anxious you become, the less you can sleep. And round you go. And this cycle won't break by thinking harder. It breaks by doing something different. Instead of trying to solve every problem right now, write them down. Get them out of your head and onto paper. Tell yourself you'll deal with them tomorrow when you're rested and have better perspective. Instead of replaying conversations, distract yourself. Put on a podcast, listen to music, watch something light, read something comforting. Give your brain something else to focus on. Instead of lying there fighting with your thoughts, get up, change your environment, go to another room, drink some water, do something gentle and calming. You can't win a war with your thoughts, but you can refuse to engage in the battle. But this is what you need to hear right now. If you're still reading this, if you're still awake, if you're still struggling, here's what I need you to hear. You're going to be okay. Not because everything is going to work out perfectly. Not because all your problems will disappear. Not because you'll suddenly stop overthinking. You're going to be okay because you've survived every single hard moment up until now. Because you've made it through every other sleepless night. because you're stronger than you think you are. This feeling, it's temporary. It always is. Even though it feels permanent right now, even though it feels like it'll never end, it will. It always does. The sun will rise. Tomorrow will come. You'll get through this night just like you've gotten through all the others. Oh, and you don't have to do it perfectly. You don't have to meditate your anxiety away. You don't have to positive think yourself into peace. You don't have to be grateful for the lesson or find the silver lining or turn it into something productive. Sometimes you just have to survive it. Sometimes getting through the night is enough. But a different way to talk to yourself. Right now, I want you to imagine that your thoughts aren't your own. Imagine they're coming from someone you love, your best friend, your child, your younger self. If they came to you at 3 a.m. spiraling with these thoughts, would you judge them? Would you tell them they're overthinking? Would you dismiss their concerns? No, you'd be gentle with them. You'd be kind. You'd be compassionate. And so why aren't you giving yourself that same gentleness? Why are you so harsh with yourself? Why do you expect yourself to be perfect when you'd never expect that from anyone else? Why do you treat yourself like an enemy instead of a friend? What if you talk to yourself the way you talk to someone you love? Instead of, why can't I just stop thinking about this? Try, it's okay that my mind is busy right now. This is hard. Instead of, I'm so stupid for worrying about this, try, I'm anxious and that's a normal human response. Instead of, I should be asleep by now, try, I'm struggling tonight and that's okay. The voice in your head doesn't have to be cruel. You can change it. What tomorrow holds. I can't promise you that tomorrow will be easy. I can't promise that your problems will be solved, or your anxiety will disappear, or your overthinking will stop. But I can promise you this, and you'll have better perspective in the morning. The things that feel catastrophic at 3 a.m. usually feel manageable at 9 a.m. The worries that consume you in darkness usually shrink in daylight. The thoughts that spiral out of control at night usually calm down during the day, not because the problems went away, but because you can see them more clearly, because you have more resources, because you're not alone with them in the dark. So, if you can, try to hold on until morning. Try to remember that 3 a.m. is not the time for big revelations or harsh judgments or life-changing decisions. 3 a.m. is the time to be gentle with yourself, to be patient with yourself, to survive and wait for sunrise. The truth about sleep. And if you can't sleep, if you've tried everything and your brain still won't shut off, if you're reading this at 3 a.m. and it's now 4 a.m. and you're even more anxious because you know you have to wake up soon, sometimes the kindest thing you can do is stop trying so hard to sleep. Because the more you fight it, the more anxious you become. The more anxious you become, the less likely you are to sleep. The less likely you are to sleep, the more you panic. And the cycle continues. What if you gave yourself permission to just be awake? What if you stopped fighting it and just accepted it for tonight? You might not get the sleep you want, but you can get rest. You can lie there with your eyes closed even if you're not sleeping. You can let your body rest even if your mind is active. You can be gentle with yourself even if you can't control your thoughts. One night of bad sleep won't ruin your life. You'll be tired tomorrow. Yes, you'll need extra coffee. Probably. You'll function a little slower, maybe, but you'll survive. Just like you've survived every other night like this, just like you'll survive the next one. Ilansia. What you're not alone in. Before I let you go, I need you to know something. You're not the only one fighting this battle. You're not the only one lying awake at 3 a.m. You're not the only one whose brain won't turn off. It's right now, there are millions of people just like you. People worrying about conversations that are over. People catastrophizing about futures that haven't happened. People replaying mistakes that can't be changed. People feeling too much and not enough all at once. You're not weird. You're not broken. You're not alone. You're human. And being human means sometimes your brain works against you. Sometimes your thoughts spiral. Sometimes the night feels longer than it should. And that's okay. You're allowed to struggle. You're allowed to have hard nights. You're allowed to not be okay sometimes. You don't have to be strong all the time. Before you close this video and try once more to sleep, I want to leave you with this. And tomorrow is a new day, a fresh start, a clean slate, a chance to begin again. The mistakes of today don't have to define tomorrow. The worries of tonight don't have to control tomorrow. The spiral you're in right now doesn't have to continue tomorrow. When you wake up, You get to choose again. You get to try again. You get to be gentle with yourself again. And maybe tomorrow you'll still overthink. Maybe tomorrow you'll still worry. Maybe tomorrow you'll still struggle. But maybe tomorrow you'll also remember this, that you survived tonight, that you made it through the darkness, that you're stronger than you think. So rest if you can, survive if you must, but know that you're not alone. Know that this feeling is temporary. Know that morning will come. Know that you're going to be okay. One breath at a time, one moment at a time, one night at a time. You've got this, even if it doesn't feel like it. Especially if it doesn't feel like it. You've got this. Before you go, if this video helped you even a little bit, please leave a like. It helps this reach other people who are lying awake at 3 a.m. desperately searching for something to quiet their minds. And subscribe if you want more content like this. Real conversations about the things we don't talk about enough. About anxiety, overthinking, healing, and figuring out how to be human in a world that expects us to be perfect. Drop a comment and let me know. What time is it where you are right now? Are you reading this at 3 a.m., 4 a.m.? Let's build a community of nighttime warriors who refuse to suffer alone in the dark. Your comment might be exactly what someone else needs to read to feel less alone. And if you know someone who battles with their thoughts at night, share this with them. Send it in a text with thought of you. Post it to your story, because the person who needs this most might be too tired to search for it themselves. Most importantly, save this video. Come back to it the next time you can't sleep, the next time you're spiraling, the next time you need a reminder that you're not alone and you're going to be okay. I'll see you in the next video, or maybe I'll see you in the comments at 3 a.m. Either way, I'm here. Take care of yourself. Be gentle with yourself.